Okay, we're now being asked to write the standard form of an equation when we have the vertex and the asymptotes. So, what we want to do is go ahead and put on the information we have. So we have a vertex at 2, 3, and then the asymptotes have an equation of y equals positive 1/4 times x minus 2 plus 5 and y equals negative 1/4 times x minus 2 plus 5, which are basically the lines going through the point 2, 5, our center. So notice I had to change the sign for the x coordinate, but not for the y because it wasn't in parentheses with a y. So I have a center at just 2, 5. There's one part, because as you know, the things we need to write the standard form are the center and the values of a and b. And notice how here I've given you the equation for the asymptotes of any hyperbola is going to be plus or minus b over a times x minus h plus k. H and k being the same values they would be in the standard form of an equation. We can see here, since these points, the vertex and the center, are lined up vertically, that this is a vertical hyperbola. So I know its standard form is going to be y something squared over b squared, x something minus the x something squared over a squared equals 1. All I need to know now is what a and b are. Okay? Well, b is the vertical distance from the center to the vertex. So I had a vertex at 2, 3 and a center at 2, 5. So between 5 and 3 here is a distance of 2. So I know that b is 2. So I can go ahead and put that in here. Okay, so I know that b is 2. Well, notice for my asymptotes, the slope is always going to be b over a. You may have to reduce it sometimes, but that's what it's going to be equivalent to, is b over a. So let's set that up. We know that b over a should equal 1/4, and we know that b is 2. So let's just replace this b with a 2 and solve for a. That'll work out pretty slick. So if we just cross multiply here, we get 8 is equal to 1a, or a is equal to 8. Awesome. We are pretty much done. Okay? So under our x here, we have 8 squared. This was our a squared. This was our b squared over here. We put the center in there. We know our center's at 2, 5. Be really careful. This is a place people mess up a lot. Sometimes they'll just put the x coordinate first, the y coordinate second. Make sure you put the y coordinate of the vertex with the y and the x coordinate of the vertex with the x. So I end up with the standard form of the equation. I'm going to go ahead and write it with the squared, y minus 5 squared over 4 minus x minus 2 squared over 64 is equal to 1. Okay, so there's the standard form of my hyperbola given the vertex 2, 3 and the asymptotes x plus or minus 1/4 x minus 2 plus 5. We'll do one more similar to that. We have the same vertex. Again, the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of draw this out to see basically what I'm working with. I have a vertex at 2, 3. My center I can find by looking here. It should be at positive 10, positive 3. Again, you change the sign when you're writing your center based on the equation for the asymptotes. You change the sign for the x, but not for the y. So we have the center is at 10, 3. Okay. So we notice this is a horizontal hyperbola. So we know we're going to have x something squared over a squared. minus y something squared over b squared equals 1. So our center is 10, 3. We can go ahead and put that in. We have x minus 10 squared, y minus 3 squared. We want to now find a and b so that we can finish this off. Well, a is our horizontal distance here from the center to a vertex. So it's the distance from the point 10, 3 to the point 2, 3. Okay, so how far is it from 2 to 10? It's a distance of 8. So I know a is 8. Okay, so we put 8 squared underneath our x there. Now we want to find our value for b. And again, we're going to use the fact that in the asymptotes, the slope is always b over a. The slope given to us here is 1/4. And we know that a is 8. So I'm going to replace this a here with 8. And now I'm going to solve that equation to find b. A little different than some of the others we've done. Cross multiply, and I get 4b is equal to 1 times 8, which is 8. Solve for b, I'm going to divide both sides by 4. And I find that b is equal to 2. Okay, so my b squared here would be 2 squared. And I can go ahead and finish that off. X minus 10 squared over 64 minus y minus 3 squared over 4 is equal to 1.